Hello everyone, I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. This is Steve coming back with another video for your enjoyment. Each week we're going to be presenting a machine language project. If you're first time watching this video, kind of keep that in mind. So we're working on building a clone off of the popular game called Spelunker, which was introduced, it's a classic game back in the 80s, 90s, or whenever they actually originally designed it. So we're going to be working on that each week. We have a couple multiple team people on our team already. We've got a graphics designer. I'm doing the map design. We've got the development. A lot of that's being done by Siggy. And then we've now got somebody doing the sound routines as well for the sit chip and everything. So if you have any other things you'd like to contribute, let me know. I mean, we can fit you in there somewhere. I mean, this project isn't going to have sit there and have a limitation of people. But I do hopefully you have some kind of skill you can bring to the table because we want to try to get this moving forward, as quickly as possible. I mean, it's my true desire one day to be a digital publisher of sorts where people could come to this channel each week and we would be working on a game. I don't know, it might take us 6 months or whatever to build it, but you'll be able to see a game in constant progress going on. And I'll take ideas and feedback on it. But for now, we're working on the most incredible Spelunker, which I think is just fascinating with all the things you can do with it, from the scrolling to the screen flipping, just many things that we're discovering about this game already. So anyway, stay tuned for that. On another note, I wanted to also mention here that reason why you may not be seeing more content uploaded recently. I put this in the comments for those who may not read the comments and just like to watch a video, is I'm not only working on the YouTube channel at the same time while working at 9 to 5, which is 40 plus hours a week, very exhausting. I'm also building my website, trying to keep my website maintained. That takes a lot of time. And on the side here, I'm also trying to join a small partnership very soon. So I'm also studying WordPress, and I've been training myself on that for the last several weeks. So that's consuming a lot of my time, and it's basically, cutting into my YouTube time as well. And plus I do SEO on the side, which is search engine optimization, because if you really want to get big on YouTube, Google, or anywhere, you really have to understand how the search engines work. And pretty soon I'm probably going to be launching a campaign. So anyways, that's just a lot of things under the table. But let's get to the core of this video. What I'm going to be showing and introducing this video, and trying to take some suggestions and feedback on this, since this has always been my passion, is to be able to share with you all of the programs that I had written back in the 1989 going forward or whatever. From about 1989 to 1993 or something like that. I think that's when I finally stopped doing it and moved on to other things, like to the PC and everything. But like I said before, I mentioned this many times, but I have disks that I've actually uploaded now to the desktop where they can be accessible on device. So I'm going to show you some of those programs. And I know I've already showed a few, but I want to try to go into them more and maybe kind of look into the code and stuff like that. And let me know if you're interested in seeing more of this. And eventually, I like to be able to do is get these on my website. Of course, I can say this and that, but my time and my hands are tied very much these days. But I'm going to do the best I can to try to get this to you. So let's get started on that. Also, real quickly, I wanted, for those who may have missed the videos and not had time to watch them, I wanted to show you, this is a device I had bought recently, which is a Commodore SDrive 1564 that is making it possible for me to get the programs to the desktop. And just a kind of quick explanation on it. So all of your information that's stored on your Commodore 64 1541 drive, you can transfer onto this little drive here. And if I press this little button right here in the center, you'll see that a little SD card kind of slides out there. So this SD card right here is the key to getting all your data. So I'm storing all of my programs on here, which is going to be a ton of disks, probably about 8 stacks of disks. I've got them on the floor and all over the place here. We'll see how much this card can really hold. But that's what I'm doing right now. So I'll be uploading this to my computer, and we'll be taking a look at everything. Because I've got all of my original Commodore 64 content already on there. And I'm working on the Lodestar discs, which is another thing that's taking a lot of time too. I got to copy all these, and each disc takes about 15 minutes to copy. So let's continue on here. Okay, so I've actually got Vice open here. For those who want to know, this is a Vice T64 emulator. It allows you to take Commodore 64 programs and run them directly on your desktop. You can just download it, just do a search on Google for Vice T64. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you how to just pull them off the disk. Kind of a quick tutorial here. You click on the File menu here, and you click on Attach Disk Image. And we're going to select a Drive 8, which is the default. And here I'm just going to go and click this little box where it says look in and search for the drive I just plugged into, which is the SD card, which is under USB drive J. And I've been storing, you can see these are some of the programs I've already got. Now I already downloaded the Bare Essentials, now it's playing that. That is a really fun game if you ever want to play. It's got tons of levels on it. But anyways, from the side note, these are some of the originals I created when I was kind of just testing it out. But I've got all the originals on here. You also saw there was a Lodestar folder here. So I've got my Lodestars coming up. I've already got all these issues on there currently. And I'm working on those still. And I've got all my C64 stuff. See all these archives here? These 30 images or whatever. Plus, that's how many different disks I've had with different software. And these are side 1s and side 2s, by the way. So there may not be 30 in total. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at those. Now to start with archive 1 here. Don't expect a whole lot because some of these are just very basic, but I'm just going to try to go through maybe, if I can, hopefully go through a disk at a time, and we'll just take a look at them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and click on the attach. This is going to assign the drive directly in device, so it now knows that I'm emulating the Commodore 64 drive, and I'm just going to emulate the standard Commodore 64 command, which you would see to load the directory. Right there. And then we just list it. You saw a copy of those earlier. Now you're looking at it directly inside of the Commodore 64, loaded into the screen here. And I'm just going to pull the first one off the list here and just kind of go through them one by one. And actually, give me 1 second. Okay, so to save some time there, I just opened up Vice on a second monitor I have over here, so I can kind of see the program names and I'll have to sit there and look them up each time. So the first one here, we won't be able to look at this one directly. I mean, at least not right now. To explain this to you, graphics.e64 is actually an editor program that I have not yet copied over, but it's actually the Commodore 64 editor that allows you to write in machine language programs. So we're going to have to skip over that one for now, but it's basically just some of the routines that I had saved. It's when I was studying code and wanted to do it. I didn't really need this program to run anything because it's already included in the data statements anyway. But here's the first one. It's Jimmy Animation. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Now, the shortcut myself here, I'm just going to use the asterisk key, which is going to say I don't have to sit there and type. It's going to sit there and say a wildcard. So it's going to read everything after this and just set it as a wildcard, which is going to prevent having to type out the rest of the name. There we go. And here I'll just show you the code. This one's kind of short. This is I found this in a book somewhere back in the days. It's a simple little animation routine. It's a sprite animation routine. And this one might be utilizing the same kind of concepts we're doing in our game, I just noticed. It's got some of the character set redefining going on here. It's got some pretty good comments in here too. Here's some screen poking locations going on. And here's the data statements for the sprite. I think it's a sprite. Let me go back and look at it again here. Now that, like I said, these programs have been on here so many ages. I haven't even looked at them in a long time, so it might not even be a sprite. This might just be a character set. I'll know it just by looking at it here. Looks like it's actually just a character set. So this one actually isn't even a sprite example from what I'm understanding so far. Now, you've seen the wait message because it has to load all the data from Commodore 64's memory, and actually that went through pretty quick. And it uploaded it. You can see it's redefined these characters, which I'll demonstrate here in a minute. It's just a man, you know, kind of flashing his hand saying, "Hello, Jimmy." So some of the very demos back in the day, when I was first learning about the Commodore 64, I would actually go through the library, public library in those days, before the internet was even around, and before BBS, Bulletin Board Systems, even became a reality during that time. I was actually utilizing the libraries a lot to learn a lot of the stuff I was learning about basic programming. So as I did that, I come across programs and put them and save them to disk, and this was one of the programs I had on there. So anyways, I'm going to turn off the character set just to show you what the characters that it had redefined here. So right there, you can see these are the characters that had just been changed to create this little man. So if I had saved that, I could have probably gone back in. Let me just rerun this again because I don't know where that was stored. I should have saved the actual memory location to be able to restore it. I'll show you what I mean here in just a minute. Okay, we'll stop it, and we'll just call it ME for memory or something, and just set peak. Whoops, that character seems to be taken. 53272. Right there. So if I print ME, 29. So that if I turn it off here, let me just clear my screen for a minute. Loads pretty fast too. Okay, so we'll just say poke 53272, 21. And then if I go back and I use that ME again, it'll remember where he was in memory. Oops, and maybe I forgot to save it. Anyways, I'm turning the screen off here for a second again here. I think the me got overwritten with whatever I just did there earlier, so 29 should do it. There you go. So it basically is just how to switch between character sets in memory, which allow you to change the characters so they look like something that's more fun. It looks more like the kind of games you've seen back in the day. This is also just utilizing standard characters. They're just placing them on top of each other and just kind of coloring them in from the basic building characters. And you're also just changing the background here from a white to a blue border. So it's a very simple program. So let's move on to the next one here. Okay, so I don't know how long this is going to take. Some of these programs can be longer, so I might try to divide these into segments. So the next one here is called Say It. I think this is one that I had actually created. I wrote it on December 24th, 1992. It's called Say It in Bitmap. You can kind of see here it's utilizing the character set here. And it's also got a machine language program. So what it's doing is it's clearing the high-res screen and a machine language routine. So it'll actually just, I think it has a message on it if I remember. Yeah, it just says bitmap mode. Now this is actually cannot be erased. As we sit there and we type over it, you'll notice it doesn't erase because it's actually in what's called the bitmap memory, which is unaffected by the standard background characters you're seeing on the screen here. So if I go back here and restore the screen, if I can remember what it is. I should have got the defaults. I don't know what the defaults are. Oh, I'm using the wrong one. 53,265, 24, is it? Anyways, give me 1 second here. Just do a pause here. I just noticed I lost my camera there for a minute. Okay, so anyways, what I was trying to do is I was trying to restore the extra screen memory here for the bitmap, but I was unsuccessful in doing that. But anyways, it's not really important. It just would show you that it's unaffected by the background here, so we can just run it again. And I can sit there and type. You can see these are actually characters, so if this were existing on this screen, it would actually erase it, but it's not because it's hitting on another screen. Now this kind of screen also, the bitmap mode, takes up a lot more memory because of how the pixels are set up and everything. So if you're going to try to sit there and upload a lot of pictures and that, you may have noticed a lot of games back in the days when they tried to sit there and upload bitmap graphics, unless they'd done some tricks to it. You didn't see that too often since they consume a lot more memory. So more standard just to create a character set, redefine it, and kind of go from there. Anyways, let's move on to the next one here. I love the sounds of that reset. Okay, so the next one is called Runner 2. And we'll list it again. So we can take a look at it here. Now this is actually moving basic memory right here to an area. Since this program is probably going to generate some memory. It's got sprites in here. So it's actually really well documented. Reposition sprite immediately at screen binding to reduce flicker. That's interesting. Here's all the different shapes. I think this one's going to be an animation. Tree trunk. Let me see here. It's got a runner. Oh, I remember this one. It's got animation of trees moving in the background. There's no date on this one or anything, but let's go ahead and run it. This might take a moment to load it. Hopefully not too long. Let's pause here. Oh, that was actually pretty quick. Okay, so there was actually something corrupted. It's supposed to have trees here, but I remember when I originally ran this, I couldn't get this one to work right. And I had went back and I fixed it, and then I lost the original file, so I didn't want to type it back in, because back in those days, that was before I had a Commodore 64 drive, and a lot of times I was just saving stuff on the computer, and didn't want to go through all that hassle. But anyways, it's supposed to be a man animating and running in the center, but you can't tell. It's kind of garbled here. And these are supposed to be trees moving. These are just actually sprites, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's actually different parts of the sprites here. So if I move it around, you'll see it kind of shifting around on the screen here. Yep, those are just basically sprites on the screen. Anyways, let's get on to the next one here. Fighter. Looks like this might be a game or something. Anyways, let's of sorts. So we'll list it. Oh, this was actually a text adventure. I do remember this. Mystery of the Unknown Gadget, May of 1984, but I don't think this one actually worked. I never really went back and played with these. Oh, actually, you know what this one did? I remember somehow this copied the file you just saw earlier after I had saved it, and I saved it. I don't know why I called it Fighter, but I was trying to save another program, and somehow it ended up appending this to the other program, and this one really got messed up. I don't know what's going to do. It gives me errors when I try to run it. I just have to skip this one. So I tried to sit there and play it, but if I had more time, I'd go in and try to figure it out. But these days, I don't really have a lot of time. Anyways, we'll move on to the next one. This one's called Bitmap Worm. We'll be back to the bitmaps again here. And I think this one's just a drawing design, like an artistic drawing, mathematical design, I think it is. So it's going to sit there and clear the screen. You'll see it's going through, and it's clearing the low-level screen, what do you call it, the low-resolution screen or whatever, versus the high-resolution screen, which is the bitmap. I never really gone over bitmaps just because they consume a lot of memory, and I really was never totally fascinated by the Commodore 64's bitmaps. If you have a good art program, though, it's not bad. So this is just erasing the bitmap. Those are red lines you're seeing. That's the bitmap. It's pixels in the background. And it kind of just redraws it over. Now this is an actual bitmap line being drawn. It's going to take a while. It's actually a sine wave, I believe it's called. Oh no, actually this one wasn't a draw. I forgot this one was supposed to be like a moving snake. They animated it. One originally was a sine wave, and the next one in the book was actually an animation. So this looks like it's an animation of a bitmap just moving around the screen there. Kind of interesting if you like mathematics. But we'll stop it again here, and you'll see it appear here. You notice that it's unaffected again by the background. Can't erase it. You have to erase it from using the bitmap commands, which are basically focused to the screen there. So we can't affect it anyway that way. So even if we knew it and everything, it'll still remain on the screen. So I'm just going to reset this one. Trying to get on to hopefully some other programs here that would be a little bit different. This probably with the book I was using was a graphics book. Let's see. Reaction test, how many tries do you want? I think I remember this one. Actually, I forgot to list it for you. And I think it just locked me out here. Okay. It's frozen. I think they shut off the brake key. It's not working. Yeah, they disabled the brake key. Okay, give me 1 second. It's going to reset this one. Often I would go back and I would remove the brake stop routine, like locking the brake key so you can't break out of programs. I would just go in and remove the actual code from it because I wanted to debug it myself and kind of look at the listing. But here's the listing for it. See, it's got some timers. It's utilizing some Commodore 64 timers here. It's got some tabs. Let's see, is there a date on this one? It's called Reaction Test. So it's trying to book 100 programs for the Commodore 64. I may or may not owe that one currently. And I was trying to see if it's actually using an actual timer. It looks like it's using a loop here, and it's using a random statement to kind of determine the timer. And it's changing the graphics mode there. Not sure what it's exactly doing here. Hope it doesn't lock the keyboard like it did earlier. Okay, how many tries do you want? We'll try 2, whatever. So E. Oh, I think you press the letters. That's what it is. And it tells you the time in seconds. So it's doing a calculation off the timing. So we'll say another go. Yes. And how many tries do you want? I'm going to say 5 on this one. So X, V, E, U, V. 1 second. So next time it was less than a second. This time it was actually within a second there. So I'm going to say no more than that. But just kind of an interesting program if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So now we'll move on to the next one here. Oh, this is an actual game. This is pretty long code. This was a compute game Back in the days, also common for me to go to the library and pick up a lot of compute magazines, where I would be learning a lot of Commodore 64 programming too as well, and just typing in to see what they would do and stuff like that. Before I even understood really anything about sprites and really game programming in general. But this one's really well written. It's a mystery game. It's going a little slow so you guys can see it. So you got to kind of match with these faces, but we'll see that here in just a minute. Just going to skip through the data there, and we'll run it now. See, 1990 Compute Publications. Actually, it's going to load up there, and it's kind of cool. It's got some sprites into it. I think this one you use is the arrow keys. You have to play with it and find out. So you can see your score there. Your rating is currently detective, and you see a truth meter, which is supposed to indicate whether this guy is the criminal or not, or something like that. I had to go back and read the instructions. And there was no instructions with this one. It's all in the actual magazine. Pause here a second. Okay, so anyways, while we're on the subject, I just found this website here. It's got all compute magazines where you can download issues for the Commodore 64. It's one of these issues in here. I don't own the Compute Gazettes. I actually own the Compute Publication, so it was originally in one of these magazines, according to the search I just did for the Sheer Luck game. So let's see if we can play with the keys here a little bit. Maybe I can figure out, is the space bar? It might be the controller. Hit the jackpot. So here I'm playing with the keys, and it was actually the controller. So you see me moving the arrows around with my controller, and you can pick one of these, and it's going to give you a different truth meter on each one. So let's just kind of click one. That one says 100%. So it looks like we got 100% on that guy. I have no idea what the 50% is for. And you're supposed to be able to go through other ones. Oh, I see. If you move the keys up and down, or you move it like the joystick key up and down, you get different faces in here. And you're kind of matching, trying to see which one is criminal versus which one may not be. And it kind of tells you, you see Bob at the top, or you see this Jim at the top. He's only getting a very low percentage, while Bob is getting 50%. So it's probably likely neither one of these guys. We could skip Jim and Bob. That's just a guess. And then you can kind of see this one's got, oh, actually 100%. So it's up to 100%. I think that's what the red means. Anyways, it was just kind of a simple game. Whoops. I know that was going to be so loud. So apparently I just did something right there. Played a marching tune there. Marching, Saints come marching in. So anyways, just wanted to show that one to you. So what it does, I just noticed it adds additional people, and I think it just keeps growing the list here, and you got to figure out more and more matches. But kind of a matching game, I guess. So let's move on to the next one, which is Monster Island. Oh, let me turn the sprites off before I forget. So redefined characters going on here already. This might be a text adventure, maybe. I see it uses a joystick or a keyboard there. Common back in the days because not everybody had a joystick, so they would set it up for a keyboard versus a joystick. Believe it or not, back in those days, some people just didn't have joysticks or just couldn't afford them. And I was a kid, I couldn't talk my parents into buying everything, but fortunately for me, by the time I got in this Commodore 64, I was old enough to afford my stuff. I was already working a job at that time. All right, let's take a look. Subroutines. If you'd like, also, I didn't mention, but I can post these on GitHub if you're interested in checking them out. I'll just upload the entire SD card there for you or something. So it says, hard luck, you have landed on Monster Island, where your only chance is to lure the monsters into volcanic pits over which you can jump. Select control device, keyboard, joystick. Of course, we're going to select 2 for joystick since I have one here. And make sure it's connected into port 1. You enter the level of difficulty from 0 to 5, 5 being the hardest. Let's set it at 1. Yep, it's a redefined character set, and you're going to start moving this little black man, I imagine. Which he is not moving. It's possible it may have switched over to another controller. So I'm just going to use the device to switch it over. You just go here, you just turn off this one, and you turn this one back on, and it always does the trick. There he goes. Now I'm moving. It was so loud, so I'm like trying to turn everything down. It wasn't so late at night, I wasn't so concerned, but okay, we need to really turn off the sound. I think they had gotten me. That's probably why you heard the sound. So just going to turn it down for this one. I'll turn it back up again later. So we'll set it to 1 again. We'll start moving again here. Oh, he got me. Lunch by Monster, yummy. That was tasty. Another game. These were games back in the days, believe it or not, guys. These were the first computer games that people had actually programmed and played, you know. I mean, there were still, you know, Commodore 64 commercial games out at the time, but if you wanted freebies, you could sit there and find one in the library and type it in, and this is usually what you got. So, let's set to 5. Probably get killed really fast, but let's see. They're probably going to move twice as fast. Uh-oh, I can't seem to move. It's like it doesn't let you move. I think it kind of freezes. There it goes. They got me. Let's try it one more time. Set this one to easy, I guess. Maybe move a little bit better. I think there's a delay before you can actually move. Maybe you have to hit the button. Oh, that's it. You have to hit the button first. So you have to pick up these things. Ooh, they almost got me. Got some bugs in it too. I noticed it just erased the other guy. Hey, I didn't pick up nothing. What the world? What's up with this? What a rip-off, guys. I'm going to get munched by a monster, and I can't even get my little freebie here. Look at that. Okay, this one's got some errors in it. I didn't even do anything. It said I already won. Anyways, kind of the stuff back in the days. So we'll say no. I have to reset. They turned off my brake key. So let's move on to the next one here. Wow, we're almost at a half hour already. So graphics text. List it. This puts text on a high resolution screen. So this is very similar to what we saw earlier. And it creates a cosine curve. Setting up the plot points. Pressing the key to continue. Graphics screen. I don't know what to put for this. Row number. Oh, it draws how high the sine wave is going to go. I guess I put it at 50, it probably increased it. For those who are into math, probably go all the way back up again. I'm going to pause and save some time here. Okay, so we're back, and that's what it does. It just writes cosine curve, and it plots a 1 on the screen, and it's just redrawing the cosine curve again. And once again, if I stop it here, which I hope I can, they had turned off the brake key again for some reason. Yeah, whatever. Love you too. Okay, so we just reset since I can't get into it. And let's see what else we have here. Yeah, I was hoping to get through like 10 or 15 of them, but I realized showing the listing that is taking a lot of time. So anyways, several sounds. Oh, we had to use a sound routine now, huh? Yeah, I was getting ready to turn up the volume again, but now we got our sound routine. Might be able to turn up just a little bit, maybe. It's not too low. See the code for it. It's got like a bouncing, breaking wave. I assume this one either does them back to back or has a menu. Has a menu. Okay, cool. So you press the keys. One key, I think it is. There's a machine gun. 2 for explosion. I think if I remembered, I think I'm the one that built the actual menu here. Shot in ricochet. It's almost like an alarm or something. There's 4 for the alarm. And 5 is a bounce. Breaking wave is 6. 7 is surprise. Alien spaceship is 8. That must sound like a mosquito. And then 9 to stop the program. So there's that one. Actually, let me see. Also, actually, now this was actually created by 100 Programs for the Commodore 64. I still keep thinking I have this book. Okay. I'm moving on. And we're at 31 minutes. Ooh, I hate making these videos so long. Okay, so next we've got Destroyer. Looks like this might be a game. So we're moving some memory around there with those Poke 52 locations. We've got some sprite definitions going in here. Some sound effects. Keyboard controls. More variable initialization going on. Some conditions. I guess that's the sprite data. I think there's a submarine there. Oh, that's it. Just got a joystick control. Redefining the character set. When you're seeing that wait, it's just them redefining the character set, which takes a lot longer on the Commodore 64, but it's much faster in Vice. So now we're saying select control by pressing. We want the joystick again. So this one's going to be the F3 key. Oh yeah, this is some kind of like a ship. I think you have to bomb the other ship if I remember. Yeah. Oh, I got him. Might be easier than it looks. There's no difficulty on this. I actually missed them. That's all it is just a sprite trying to hit the other ship below, pressing the button, and you got to hit the other ship. Much later, actually, I sat there and reproduced this on the Atari computer and came up with a little bit better of, you know, a little bit more interest in that one. Of course, I don't have any of those programs anymore, but that's another story. Yep, so this kind of just repeats over and over again. Doesn't really give you a score or anything. It's kind of a simulation, so to speak. But it is using a raster here. I think it was. Let me see. I'm gonna check real quick. Or maybe they just drew the line on the screen. I don't know. Just double checking real quick. I was trying to see if there was any machine code here. Didn't see any. So maybe it's not. Okay, so anyways, might have time for a few more. Let me know if these videos are too long and we'll try to reduce them. But again, I'd like to try to get these programs out to you. We're not even through this first disk yet. I mean, to give you an idea here. Here it is on the other screen. I'll just remove this one for now. This is what I've been doing is I've been using this to kind of figure out which one next to type in. And this is even, if you look at it, not even half of it. And some of these are really long. Some of these got probably a good, I don't know, 40, plus programs on them. So anyways, on this one, it's an unscratcher. I think this might just be a diskette program. I can run it, but I'm not going to use it for anything. It utilizes I/O commands though, input output. So insert diskette with scratch file. So we have a scratch. It's not going to matter here because we're on Vice. But if we press C, I hope it isn't going to do anything to my thing. Reading directory. Let's see what if it does anything. No scratch files found. Return to continue. So it just kind of examines whether there's scratch files on the disk, essentially. And you can see they always put their copyright statement on it and everything. And I'm on to the next stuff here. Check track 18's previous similar. Another disk utility. This one finds errors in a directory. And it's got an error message in it. Got to do the listing for you. So it's just reading the tracks here, and it's just like it's keeping track of them here, and it's just reading commands directly to the device. And looks like this might be an unscratched command. I don't know. I haven't looked at these in so long, but these are status commands here. I believe en, em, strings, et, es. I used these so much when I published that game originally. Keep track of statuses of the disk and stuff like that to make sure that everything was saving successfully. So yeah, that's just telling you different statuses, no channel. It's probably because we're using Vice. Okay. If somebody knows, you can throw it in the comments. So, trying to figure out if that's where I want to break it off. The rest of the stuff kind of gets into some really interesting stuff here. Let me see how much is left on this disk. I really need to get through some more. I'm going to be spending 3 videos just to get through one of these. So I'm going to make this a little bit longer than I intended. So excuse me on that. Color mix. This was another compute publication. And this is a complete machine language utility. I think this one might be saving the disk or something. Oh, there it is. It actually worked too. It's kind of a scroller. It's called a color memory scroller. So it's working behind scenes, and it's using a raster routine to kind of move the colors in memory. Kind of interesting. Look at that. I just clicked on one button and it brought all that up. Oh, that was actually the little message they had built in there. You didn't even see that. Where's that at? Oh, you know what? They had done that behind scenes, didn't they? Where did they get the message from? It's not even in the code. That's kind of interesting. See if you see it. If I pause it here a second, look, it's not even in the code anywhere. And you have a little message print on the screen there. Kind of cool. All right, so reset this. These are just some of the other rasters. When I was actually first learning about rasters, I came across this raster list and just threw them on a disk here. This one's a color scroll. Listed again. Another compute publication. Machine language utility. This one just kind of scrolls up and down. Kind of cool. We could actually slow that down too and make it a little bit easier to see. They just have it going pretty fast here. Excuse me if you're epileptic. Alright, color flash. These are all kind of similar. Showing, oops, I forgot to list it. Well, we could see this one actually, but just another machine language utility. As I said, sending calls here to this routine in code here. Probably to turn them on and off. Let's see if I'm right. Look at that. Turned it off. Perfect. Alright, so next, color sparkle will be up to. This one kind of goes side to side, so it's going from left to right. Let's see if we can turn this one off. Yay. There you go. Awesome. Alright, color set. listing. This is a little smaller one. Not sure what this one does. Look, this was my own. It says compute publication, so it probably wasn't. Sometimes I went in and I recreated my own stuff from this, and sometimes added to games and stuff like that. But anyways, still got a little bit of time here. I didn't want to make these videos super long, but there's 64 screen store, and then a compute Gazette. This was like my compute Gazette disk. Restores the screen, press the key to store, any key to restore old screen. So this is actually recalling data on the screen. I think I do remember this one. So let's see, stores the screen. What's this? Let's plus 3. One system 9155. That's supposed to store the screen, and the other one is supposed to call it. SS, so 49152. So if we kind of erase the screen here a little bit, we'll try to see if we can restore the screen. Look at that. We just restored the screen. Kind of cool. Okay, so next. Music. Don't ask me why I'm trusting to turn this up again. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's a music editor, or what do you call it? A music jukebox. This one uses the keys. Very similar to what I was doing before. Let's see what we got. Lets you play F1, F3. So F3. So the F key, select our tone. 1 to 9, select the length. And press the keys. Okay, so let's play with the tones by changing F3. It didn't do anything. F3. That's what they mean by tone. Let's see, F7. I'm pressing a Q. It's giving me the same sound every time. You can set the length, it says, with the number keys. Let's kind of shrink it. Some kind of piano or something. Not sure why that's not changing the tone or the waveform, but anyways. That's enough of it. Anyways, there's too much time. Let's see what we got next. Joystick init. Try to keep this one in 45 minutes if I can. This is initialization and then a computes Gazette program. Of course, did we think it would be anything else? Initials. This is a joystick initials program. And of course, got to change the joystick again. There we go. So I could set my initials or whatever. But I can't seem to go to the next letter. Maybe the press key. Here's my initials. Cool. All right. So next, we have ball and wall. So this might be the last one. We're at 45 minutes already. So just to show this one, this is another 100 programs for the Commodore 64. Subroutines. This is a bouncing ball, I believe. Yeah. And it just eats at the wall, I guess, each time until it. What's going to happen if it passes through the wall, I wonder. Probably take it a while to go through the wall. Oh, almost got it. There it goes. Oh, it just goes to the other side of the screen, that's all. Kind of speeds it up now. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video of the Commodore 64 Disk 1. As we're still moving through them, these are the Compute Gazette programs, and we still got probably, you know, half of this disk to still go through. As we're going through the listing, just going to take time. I could sit there and run every single program and show it to you, but I thought you might want to see the code and maybe learn some things about the code itself. And hopefully this video was enjoyable enough to you. We'll continue the series. I just wanted to kind of show you the rest of the programs, and then eventually I'll just upload them all for you. But there are some really good ones coming along. We just have to kind of come across them as we come along. Some of these were very standard AXI graphics kind of programs, but going forward, there are some sprite games and other things I have on these discs yet to come. So as always, I appreciate your favorites, likes, and subscriptions. Please hit that like button. Look forward to more videos to come. And we should continue on with the machine language project. Hopefully we're set to go this Friday. If not, then we'll have to do next week. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.